High-functioning anxiety is one of the most socially rewarded trauma patterns in modern culture and is the identity of someone trying to survive. It does not have to look chaotic. It does not have to look unstable. It can look very productive. It might look like the person can always handle it. The person who responds first. The person who anticipates problems. The person who stays ahead. From the outside, this looks like leadership. From the inside, it often feels like pressure that never leaves the body. High-functioning anxiety is not ambition. It is vigilance trained to look impressive. The nervous system was designed for short bursts of activation. Fight or flight was meant to protect you from immediate threat. Once the threat passed, the system returned to regulation. High-functioning anxiety keeps the body in low-grade activation for years. There is no visible emergency, yet the body behaves as if one might appear at any moment. This creates a constant background hum of urgency. You may not call it anxiety, you may call it drive, but drive feels steady. Anxiety feels urgent. Drive builds capacity. Anxiety drains it. The difference is subtle until it is not. Ask yourself something precise. If you complete a task, do you feel relief or do you immediately look for the next thing to control? If you rest, does your body soften or does your mind scan for what you are missing? If someone else takes responsibility, do you feel supported or uneasy? High-functioning anxiety is often born in environments where being competent created safety. Perhaps you learned early that mistakes brought criticism. Perhaps chaos in your environment forced you to mature quickly. Perhaps being reliable earned praise. Perhaps being easy reduced conflict. The nervous system adapts to whatever keeps it safe. If overperforming reduced risk, overperforming became identity. Now, productivity equals protection. Responsibility equals worth. Control equals stability. That architecture becomes unconscious. You believe you are choosing to operate this way. In reality, you are repeating what once worked. The brain prioritizes familiarity over happiness. Familiar stress feels safer than unfamiliar calm. When the nervous system has been conditioned to operate in subtle fight or flight, calm can feel suspicious. Stillness may feel unproductive. Silence may feel unsafe. Delegation may feel risky. That is not personality, that is conditioning. Culture reinforces this conditioning. We reward speed. We reward availability. We reward constant output. The person who rests is questioned. The person who pauses is labeled unmotivated. So high-functioning anxiety is not only internal, it is socially reinforced. This is why it is difficult to recognize. The pattern receives praise. The praise strengthens the identity. The identity locks in the nervous system state. Over time, erosion begins. Sleep becomes shallow. The body holds tension. Decision fatigue increases. Joy decreases. Irritability rises quietly. Relationships feel like another responsibility rather than a place of restoration. The individual continues performing because performance feels safer than collapse. The cost accumulates slowly. High-functioning anxiety does not usually break loudly. It wears down silently. The core issue is not workload. It is worth. When worth is tied to output, rest feels threatening. If I am not producing, who am I? That question exposes the identity layer. Ambition without anxiety feels grounded. It moves forward without bracing. It plans without scanning for disaster. It executes without tightening the chest. Anxiety-driven ambition feels like something is chasing you. There is little room for satisfaction because satisfaction signals stopping. Stopping feels dangerous. The recalibration begins by separating value from productivity. You are not valuable because you are efficient. You learned efficiency because it stabilized your environment. That truth changes the narrative. The nervous system must experience safe stillness to update, not forced stillness, not collapse. Intentional stillness. Finish one task and do not reach for the next immediately. Allow an email to sit without urgency. Sit in silence without filling it with stimulation. Notice the discomfort that rises. That discomfort is not laziness. It is withdrawal from chronic vigilance. The body will attempt to convince you that slowing down equals falling behind. Observe that thought. It is a survival echo. High-functioning anxiety convinces you that urgency is necessary. Clarity requires calm. Precision requires regulation. Sustainable success requires a nervous system that can expand without bracing. Ask yourself this: if my worth were secure, how would I operate differently? Would you send fewer messages with more intention? Would you choose depth over speed? Would you allow tasks to be completed without perfect control? Would you build from steadiness rather than urgency? This is identity recalibration, not reducing ambition. Removing fear from it. The goal is not to become passive. The goal is to become regulated. A regulated nervous system creates sharper thinking. It increases creativity. It strengthens boundaries. It allows presence. High-functioning anxiety narrows focus to survival tasks. Regulation widens focus to strategic vision. One is reactive. The other is intentional. You are not your vigilance. You are the awareness that can update it. You do not lose your edge when you release anxiety. You refine it. You do not lose drive. You remove desperation from it. Calm authority carries more weight than frantic competence. Steady execution builds more than constant acceleration. High-functioning anxiety is not your highest identity. It is your most efficient survival adaptation. And survival does not need to lead once safety has been established. The question is simple. Are you building from fear or from stability? The answer will shape the architecture of your future. I share a grounded truth. My name is Nicole Oliveena, designer of emotional architecture.